We're back with episode 2 of our podcast. And again, I am Joe the Auto Guy with my two guests,
Brett and Brandon.
Well, we're actually going to start off this podcast with a question that you guys were interested in. I got sent to an email. Basically, you guys want to know how we actually, all three of us, started into cars. And so I'm going to start this one off with Brandon, because I'm more interested in how you got into it.
Oh, well, how I got interested in automotive and anything working is actually my father back when we were kids. He would go around and get lawnmowers for free from garage sales and stuff like that. And he'd bring them home and be like, here, fix them. So I would tear them apart, carburetors, $5, $10 here and there fixing stuff. And we would sell them and make money. So in my head as a young kid, I learned how to do the mechanic fundamentals of building and working, but also on the side part of the making the money part of it, which was kind of neat. But that's really how I got into hands-on kind of work. But for cars themselves actually came to me when I was really sick with my appendix and everything, and I was in the hospital. And my sister bought me a PlayStation 2 and one of the first Gran Turismos that came out for that one. And I laid in that bed for like a week straight and played Gran Turismo. I'm like, this is amazing. Along with like go-karts and what have you. So, I grew up on a farm with a lot of four-wheelers, a lot of UTVs, ATVs, three-wheelers, especially three-wheelers, the death machines. So yeah, I mean, it just kind of became, as I was born, I would always race people on my tricycle. So I would always win, so my mom always had to hold me back. She was actually just telling that story yesterday to Julia.
Oh, really?
And,
heard that one a couple times.
Yeah, so I mean, racing was kind of just born into me. So the fact of wanting to go fast and actually build things was all just kind of progression of working with stuff. Build something to your standards, you drive it, you get bored of it. As you all know, it'll never be finished, regardless of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Or most people, it's just going to be build it, tear it apart, build it, tear it apart, build it, and then so on and so forth. So that's how I got into cars.
Me? Mine wasn't until like the last couple of years where I actually had way more respect for vehicles. I always thought, oh look, he's driving a Porsche, he's a D-bag.
He's a douchebag.
Oh, look at that guy, he's driving a big old Cadillac Escalade with 30-inch rims, D-bag. And then these last couple of years has literally been like, I saw the Porsche that I was like, well, that guy's an asshole. I'm looking at it going, that's a beautiful friggin' car. Yeah. Just walking around and looking at it, and the guy came up to me and goes, any questions? I said, oh shit, I'm not here to steal it. Wait, what? I'm joking. I'm on the clock still. I just admiring your car, if anything. And it just kind of literally went from there. And then being part of his household for the past, 6 years? 6, 7 years?
7 years.
Yeah.
8 years.
Has it been 8 years now?
It's been going on 8 years, dude. We've been married for almost going on a year.
Yeah, I've been with your sister for about 7.
Yeah.
So, but it came down to actually moving in with him and just watching him come home with his 240s and his random cars that he'd have, because it first started out with the Nissan one that I saw with the back end on it. And
The Altima?
Yeah, the Altima.
Yeah, that's my car I got when I was 14.
Yep. So it's the Altima, and then he went to his 240, the one that was multicolored, and then he came in with a couple Datsuns, another 240 here and there, and now it's literally been on him. Otherwise I would have had no respect for vehicles. I would have just been like, oh, it's another vehicle. All right, hand me down. Let's go. I just got to get to where I need to go, because I had my blue Honda, which had it burned oil and whatnot, and then I moved from the Honda to my 2-door Cougar, which was an awesome.
Dude, the Cougar rocks.
It was a big old boat ready to drift.
Oh, dude, it was an awesome car. Still is. It still runs, I hope. But
oh no, dude, we destroyed that thing.
I'll still remember. I can't remember where we were going, but it was about when we first all started hanging out, and we drove somewhere separate, but you drove your Cougar there, and they were like, oh, my tire's leaking. And so we went to do a tire plug to the side of the road, and I reached in and stabbed my hand through all the cords. I was like, no, there's no patching this tire. I was like, oh my god.
yeah, when we going to Valley Fair or coming
That's what it was. We're going back to Valley
We were
Fair.
going to Valley Fair or coming back. So I
Yeah.
remember Kirsten's like, oh, we can all just get in your car. And I was like, no, this thing's, I've been leaking, all day, and I just need to get it home so we can fix it or see what's going on with it.
All cords on the inner.
Yeah.
It's all just.
I was just
gone.
shank, like, yeah, ouch. In the dark, didn't even think about it, like, okay. I was just feeling for air, just. Dead.
But being a mechanic wise and stuff like that, that's all I've been learning from you guys. I know.
Yeah, we
very
teach
little.
something.
I know.
Okay.
Very little to no mechanic skills. I mean, I can try to watch and figure it out, but why and what and where and what it does is completely different. But yeah, I'd have to say for me it was these last couple of years of actually sitting down and actually looking at a vehicle and going,
This car is your looking for. It
yup,
has been.
it really has.
Well, I guess your blue Honda was tearing out the engine, putting one in, but
We gotta tear that engine off.
we might as well just get it running at that point. But
I know. Yeah.
another hatchback in the garage.
I don't know. We can cut it and make it a truck.
I wanted to do this with my
Make it a
first
limo.
one.
Fuck that.
No limo civic
Make it a
hatchback.
little civic hatchback.
Then it'll just look like a lower minivan at that
It's like a Dodge Magnum.
point. Pretty much.
It has the same slant and everything.
I never understood the Dodge Magnums.
It was a wagon for all the guys with little wieners that their wife said you have to drive this, and they're like, fine.
Well, the one time with a Magnum, I saw it was pulled up to a Walmart, but the guy had the back end all decked out. He opened in a Walmart parking lot, opened the tailgate with a 45-inch or 40-something inch TV, mounted in the back on, and he just started playing Xbox in the back of the parking lot of a Walmart. I'm like, okay, that's one way to do it. All right. It was entertaining. I was just driving by what?
So how about you?
For me, kind of the same way with you. Like, my dad pretty much forced me to work on all our four-wheelers after I broke them when I was younger, and I never wanted to. I was just kind of like, this is boring. And I was like, 11, 12. And then, I'm not going to lie, the Fast and the Furious movie, first one came out in 2001.
That definitely.
And that was the first time I realized, I saw muscle cars being built up in that, but I thought that was the one thing you could do, and I was like, I love muscle cars, but I'm not entirely interested in how they were built.
It's all been done the same so many times. It's all general.
When you modify it with new suspension and change the geometry, make it handle, make it nice and different, which a lot of people say is blasphemy. I like that concept.
Yeah.
That's just change it, make it better, make it what it really can be. But when you really don't leave springs and stuff, it's a truck.
It's like my Camaro. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and so I saw muscle cars and stuff, and I was like, nah. And then Fast and Furious came out, and I didn't realize there was such a broad spectrum of parts for cars that you could modify them with and do all that, and that's what made me interested. And I was like, oh wow, this can you can build something besides a V8. And I was like, oh okay, and it was and then I realized you could do it to everyday cars. Back then I wasn't thinking about that, but then I was just like, oh, so you can just do anything you want. And I was like, good. I don't like cars in general. I'm like stock cars. I'm yeah, they're okay, but it's I always want to change something about them. And so that really got my mind thinking about it. And then, like I said, I always relate back to my MR2, which is the project car, and I've had it. It was I had kind of two cars before it just to tinker with, but I got a 94 Illumina, piece of crap. Well, it was my uncle's, and went from one uncle to another uncle, and neither of them wanted to fix it. And that's when I was like, I can take this apart and just look at it. Because some guy came out for me $400 for it, and I was 13. And I was like, my dad said it's it's your deal. If you want to get rid of it, you make it happen. And I'm just $400. It's worth more than that. I was like, I can probably fix this. So I researched on the internet and forums and found the issue that was wrong with it.
Back when it was.
Yeah, back when it was dial-up, there was no YouTube videos.
Yes.
And I looked it up and I just read about it. I was like, I found a common problem. I was like, cost me about $35 to fix it, and ended up selling it for $500 something later on. But the fact was, I fixed it.
Yep.
And I was like, all right. So then that made me interested in figuring out more about it, and just kept rolling. And then it got to the point where I was like 13, 14, and maybe just about to turn 15, and I convinced my dad to let me buy that MR2. And back when I had, had to swap an engine to it and all that, I had to do it all. My dad was busy with work and stuff, and I had to just figure it out. So I bought a Haynes manual. My dad had a ton of tools, but then he started making me buy my own because he got tired of me losing his stuff. And when you buy your own stuff, you're more concerned about where it goes. My dad just got like wrenches, side of the floor. I don't really care. Like my garage.
Yeah.
And so that made me just, the affinity just kept rolling and going, and then, and as a mechanic, it's kind of the thing you always want to work on. You always work on someone else's car before your own, just because most times I'm getting paid to work on somebody else's car, my car's costing me money. And so that's kind of the stigma with it. It's like, I can tell somebody, it's going to be $350 to fix your car. And my car, I'm like, it's going to be $350 fucking dollars to fix my car. I'm like, son of a bitch.
It's coming out of your pocket already.
Yeah.
It's like, so
that's why, I need to fix like 6 people's cars to pay for this. Like,
to make it even worthwhile. That's
Yeah.
the best part.
I can only imagine being an actual, like what you guys do, like when you guys do side jobs and whatnot, being like, oh, well, you need this, you need that, I can do it in maybe a couple hours, and then they go spend $500, and you're like, oh, wait, what? Okay, all great, that's what you want to put in there, I'll put it in there nice and neat for you.
I guess the next topic I was just kind of curious of is, I kind of mentioned that the first car I ever got to mess with was a 94 Lumina, which isn't too impressive by any means. I was wondering what your guys' first cars were.
Mine weren't really cars, but if you want to go with cars, it'd have to probably be. Oh man, I don't even know. I'd have to go back to like my father's old pickup trucks because we used to buy throwaway trucks, like $500 trucks. Back when you could buy them for $500, and try to make it a 2.5-hour drive, overheating, getting off on the side of the road, trying to fix the That's what we would do. So I mean, I've been doing it since I could remember. So my first vehicle that I can actually remember working on was my Altima when I was 14. Was that 1998? That's when Fast and Furious came out, of course. Went on eBay, bought a giant spoiler for it, put a big old spoiler
Dude,
on.
everybody.
Still on there.
It is.
Poor bastard that bought it just a couple months ago. It's still on there.
Really?
Yep, and he's gonna leave it on there, he said.
Yeah, I love it because that movie came out, and like I didn't realize the trend at the time, but then you look back and everybody put gigantic spoilers
You know?
and like 5-inch cans out the back. And just,
Body kits.
Yeah.
And, and that's kind of the interesting part of even like that theory of it is you look at like the 1990s, everybody was about big body kits, big wings, Lambo doors, neon lights.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody goes back to like what we're doing now is everybody wants all original equipment, but they want US people want the Japanese domestic market parts. They want to import all the parts from Japan. And the Japanese people are looking at our bills going, oh, those are cool, so let's import some of the American stuff. So we're kind of flip-flopping parts, but everybody's trying to keep things original. And, that's kind of the way the game culture works by, sometime next year we're all going to be looking at each other like the stance phase that's going on. I don't like it. Some people love it. In the next 10 years it'll die out. We're all going to be like, why the fuck were people, putting camber so half an inch the tire touches? Who knows? But that's just how it is.
that's the same thing of the stance. Like I get that people like it, and I always respect like genres of what people do. It's like if that's what you want to do, it's fine. But I don't get it. Like I just as far as making a car useful, I'm about making it planted. Like even if you're gonna lower it to the ground, make it functional.
Yep.
And they just.
I mean, if you want to go the hard park way, where you're actually going to sit there and park it and show it, it looks cool. Everything nicely talked, and they actually do a lot of work to it.
Yeah.
But that's the form function of it, and me being a function guy along with you, and you like to go around, so you're a function guy too. Mm-hmm. Granted, you are some form yet, but it's the concept part of it that, like, I guess my S14 has a huge body kit on it, but it's not like.
It's not
gaudy, and it doesn't have a bunch of stickers all over it like some of the people are doing now again. But
Sticker bomb.
no, they're all going to like the old like 1990s D1 grade like stickers all over their cars, like full vinyl wraps and stuff. But yeah, get back on topic. Brett, what's your first vehicle you ever worked on?
My stupid first Honda. That was my first and only car I had until I moved on to the Cougar. And it went from being a good driver to where we had to place the wheels, and then we didn't really do much to it besides for add a fart can.
And brakes.
Well, yeah, the standard, regular stuff, the basic stuff that you do to it. But other than that, it was the big project for it was doing that engine swap that we had very minimal to no knowledge of.
I didn't have any real knowledge
Yeah.
behind either of the engines.
So
Like everybody's like, oh, they're easy. You just pull them out, put them in, good to go. Well, okay, going from non-VTEC to VTEC, you have to get those solenoids right and all the extra timing
and the harness and all that other stuff that
Got the
came with
moron
it.
cut in half, so then you and my sister had to wire up.
Yep, and it didn't work anyways because I couldn't match up all the stupid fucking wires.
Yeah, for colorblind people.
Well, that too. And you go from one car to another. Those wires are different.
Yep.
It's like you can't just.
That's why we did the
Can't
underdash
match
harness and everything like that, and it still wasn't.
Yeah, we wanted to pull everything, that whole harness out of the car.
And then my knowledge, I don't know if I can toggle switch to it and see if it turns over. We got it to turn over and almost go, but it never actually ran. So I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it would turn, but it would never actually go. But that was like the huge project for that one. I mean, if you want to consider that the first real thing, but we never finished it.
It's still working on it.
I still want to pull it out because you were excited that there was an extended clutch.
That was a
stage
steady
two.
clutch and it was super clean, so I'm assuming it was like a stage. It was a twin plate clutch on a stock D16 Z6. That doesn't make any sense. And we never did pull the oil pan. I pulled the valve cover and the cams looked brand new. So I don't know if it was refreshened or if it was actually built with lower bottom end, but we never got to that point of pulling it out, so we don't know.
Yeah, otherwise the only thing would be, the next thing would be this thing, where I'm actually putting time and going to finish it.
Yeah.
So.
My car, I want to put the time in. It'll happen. I just.
You got YouTubers that want to see that thing built.
All right, that is going to conclude episode 2 of our podcast. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe for future videos. And to suggest topics, always comment down below or email down below. The email is down below.
Okay.
We can find it.
You said email below, so I went with it.
Yeah, you got it. So, that is it. Signing off. Woo! Bye.
Bye, YouTube fans.
So, that's going to conclude this podcast. Kind of fucking sick. He just can see you. So that come on, aim at the people. That's creepy.
Say that at the end of every one of them.
He was not just Uncle Bill.
All right, 3, 2, 1.